Okay, this is Allagash 2013. So it's the first time we've been on this waterway, and the first time that I've ever paddled a canoe for any length of time. Now, you might think this is not a smart thing to do if it's like, one of your first times out. And I'm not talking about paddling a canoe on a beach or in a lake or maybe going out for an hour or so. This was a epic adventure that starts out on the border of Canada. Or I should even say before that. Once you get in the car with these guys and everybody starts talking survival and food and what we're going to run into. Almost like the pregame, the months of conversation that lead up to a voyage like this. So I want you to hear a few of the parts yourself. So I had some audio that I turned on and I turned off, but because of the distortion and because it's a GoPro, it's really not that accurate. But it does crystallize some of the stuff that we did out there on the Allagash pretty well. So, from the days you have out there, the first time, take a listen and tell me what you think about some of these clips. And as you can see, some of them are going to be funny, some of them are going to be not so funny, and some of them is, are you guys really out on a river by yourself? One thing's for sure, and that's something I found about the Allagash, is you definitely grow by having great experiences. Whether it's with your friends, whether it's with your understanding of nature, whether it's understanding the value of certain things like food and potable water and even a snack, or even the value of a green apple. So, out of all the stuff you get together, and by the time you come out of it, for what it's worth, it is an experience that'll shape a different understanding of the wilderness and how we know it. So, take a little look at this.
Right, there we go. Now left. I can't. Go straight then, go straight. Come on, do something. There you go, baby. No, now you screwed up the camera. You screwed up the camera. He's killing me, man. He's killing me.
Okay, so you can see that's day one, and you can hear the banter going back and forth, even though it's muted because it's inside that case. You can hear, I told you to go right, I told you to go left. How many times have you been out on a paddle? And my response was, oh, none. And his response was, well, shut up and paddle. So you can see we're going down the rapids. That's how we inserted it on the first year in 2013. We actually didn't walk. We didn't go through some lakes first and get our paddle on and get our calling out what rocks are and how to work as a team with someone on the front of the boat and someone on the back of the boat paddling in unison. All those little things that you take for granted, especially if you had a brother with you that has been, canoeing with you before and been kayaking. And I mean, this is not the Saco River. And I mean, the Saco, you just sit in the boat and you just push it along, eat chips, drink, hang out with your friends, maybe drag along the water for a little while. But basically, the river pushes you along, and it's not this, hard paddle every day or try to find the right water and the right time to get on the water. You do run into weather too when you do extended periods of time. So at this point, we were out on the water for days, but you'd have in the morning, it'd be misty and cool. And then in the middle of the day, it'd be hot. So you'd have to make sure you have a hat on, something to protect you from the sun, sunblock. And one huge thing that we didn't think about when we went in October on the first time is the bugs. So literally, if your legs were exposed, it's like you just had bugs upon bugs and then bites upon bites. And it's something that just drove you crazy with itching throughout the whole event. So you learn about the bugs, you learn about the water, you learn about, hey, in the morning it's pretty clear and placid, so it's a good time to get out without waves coming over the side of your canoe. a lot of little things like that. And like you don't run rapids at night because I don't you don't care how good you are. If you can't see the rock, you can't avoid the rock, and you'll definitely hit rocks at night. So that's another thing you're concerned with. You only have so many hours during the day. So if you make mistakes or you go up the wrong way, they kind of bite you in the butt too. So the maps in the compass should probably be on the same boat, right? Or you think that'd be logical? That's something that people would do? Well, take a listen a little bit more of the adventure and tell me what you think.
You remember? It's called Shredder Falls. Shredder Falls. He said shoot the boot. If you don't do it right, you're going to shred the boot.
I got one on the right. So it looks like there's a lot on the right here, Derek. Let's stay to our left. I see a big one. I see a big one right here.
There's a couple big ones to your left. We're going to follow the same path that they follow. So you're low on your knees.
I am low, dude. I'm low.
Shoot the path. Don't paddle. Don't paddle.
All right, big rock right in front of me. But I don't have. Big one on the right. One to the right. Stay to your left. No, we don't have to paddle, bro. You just need to keep us going where we need to go. Rock to the left.
Paddle on your left. Okay, come on, Ron.
Yep. Now paddle to the right. Get out of it. Paddle right.
All right. Go. Come on. Stay still. Relax. This is good, right? Are we
Yep,
good?
we're good. This is what we wanted to shoot right here.
Shoot right through the gap.
Yep.
Okay. And another thing you got to take in consideration when you have a boat mate is sometimes your boat mate has very broad shoulders and weighs about 200 pounds. So literally, if I get down, I'm really grounding the actual canoe. It really doesn't bounce around a little bit. But when I get my weight high, then the boat seems to shake and shimmy a little bit. It's a little different than having a skinny younger brother on the front that might weigh 125 pounds soaking wet with a brick in his hand. It's definitely a different challenge with the weight and the balance and the packing of the gear and the dry bags. They've got to be a certain way. And if they're not, you get thrown off a little bit. And by that, I mean your balance isn't right. It's harder to paddle. It's harder to navigate. And another boner of a move that we did is we did not bring canoe chairs. So we were doing all this by sitting up in the canoe 8 hours a day and paddling. So you could just imagine how your back would feel after paddling all day and being upright and rigid and having to maintain that posture. That, and then also you're sitting on like no cushion. So it's literally like a piece of wood. So your butt goes completely numb. All these little things that we learned. Hey, maybe a folding canoe chair would be something you might want to recommend if someone's going to do the Allagash. And little things like that, they don't seem like much. But when you take the overall journey, the amount of hours on there, and then also the days, the consistency of being out on the boat day after day. So you're going to man up, you're going to take your Advil at night, and then you're going to wake up in the morning and do it all again. So whatever can make the trip easier, do it.
All kinds of rocks left.
So we had to add a little bit of that video, just proof that I indeed paddled on the Allagash trip. Because from what you hear from the rhetoric, the badgering, and all that other stuff is, dude, you didn't paddle. Well, a big mistake you might make, I'm just going to throw it out there. If you bring a guy on a trip and it does include unbelievable landscapes in the fall in New England, and he just happens to have multiple cameras, this could be a sign that that person would stop at all the little moments and want to take a photo. Uh, the serenity in the morning when you first get on the lake, the smoke on the water, that beautiful waterfall. Certain things you might want to take pictures of. And that's just for history. Have a recording of it, have some video, have some still pictures. And believe it or not, the first year I did not get a lot of data, mostly on the GoPro. But the other stuff, I had bigger cameras. I couldn't take them out, whether it be because of the weather or whether it be because of the rapids, or whether it be like, hey, listen, we needed a paddle today. And I mean, talk about driving the point home. We went down this whole thing, and this whole adventure takes about a week. And there's this one place called Allagash Falls. And I can't tell you how many times I heard the TLC quote, hey, you can't go chasing waterfalls. And I mean, badger, 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 badger. And then we get to the falls, and it's like, yeah, we're just going to portage here. And I don't know if you guys don't know what that means. It means that you're going to unload all your crap from the boat, take it on the shore, and then drag your canoe across. Yeah, because in between, you can't take your canoe over the waterfalls. You're going to unpack all your junk, take it over land, and then put it all back in the boat again, neatly and organized, and then paddle again. So they said there's no time to take photos. And I think the only photo I have, be at the waterfall the first year, is from a cell phone at about, 40 meters away, where I look like an ant, and the waterfall, of course, taken with a cell phone. We all know what's going to happen there. It's squeezing 10 pounds of poop in a 5-pound bag. I mean, that's basically the photo you got. So hey, that's kind of we're going to get back at them. Don't worry about it. We're just going to not stop at the waterfalls. But I was not told this. I was told that I had 15 minutes to walk around, By that time, you got to go to the bathroom. You got to, brush your teeth. You got to eat a quick sandwich or have a granola bar, something to get energy back to where it needs to be, and then get back on the water again. So it's one of those things, lessons that you learn as far as time management, and that's if you blow it. If you blow it the first couple days, and then you got to pick up the paddle the next day, those miles are still there. You still got to paddle those miles. So whether you do 20 miles one day or 6, it doesn't matter. But throughout the week, you've got to maintain a certain cadence, a certain tempo. And if you don't, you fall behind. So that's actually on one person, the timetable and everything like that. Even though logistically it's planned out, operations is planned out, lodging is planned, canoes are planned, everything, Mother Nature is in control. So if you flip a few times and can't get warm and it's October, you're lighting a fire and you're staying at that place for the night. You're not traveling another 20, 30 miles and waiting for your clothes to dry. Is no time to do that. So time management comes into play. Mother Nature comes into play. Logistics. We had a great guy on this. So Mike Cook, who was the cook throughout the trip, organized everything. So food, he had a schedule set up, what we could eat when, and really spread it out through the week so there's plenty of food for everybody. So logistic-wise, in the beginning, before we even started, the guy that organized, this is how much it's going to cost, per day. This is what we got for food. All that other stuff that's done beforehand made a huge difference. Also, with the maps, we really didn't think about the maps until we get up on the Allagash. We were like, hey, we're just going to get the maps when we get up there, and then we're going to talk to the guides. We're going to tell them, hey, this is what we plan on doing. What should we do per day? And hopefully the person that we're talking to understands time management and understands like what we plan on doing expectation wise, and to be very realistic with us. Let us know, hey, this is going to work, this is not going to work based on past experience. Well, of course we didn't do that, and of course we don't have a paid guide on the trip. We actually had someone at the store that's selling the maps. And of course it's like, hey, you guys gonna buy the map? When literally we could have printed it like on Google and laminated it and like went through and put check marks and figured out the best route or the best campsites and stuff like that. Maybe did some more due diligence, and then like, hey, we're gonna take on the Allagash. We'll buy a map when we get up there, and then we'll figure it out as we go en route. So it's kind of funny having 2 or 3 guys sitting there arguing over, hey, are we going the right way? How many hours you got to put on the lake, today to get past? What might be a shortcut that we can do because we're running behind time. So it's like an engine. Like when you lurch forward, very fast, you start going, and then you pull back because of a mistake. And it was like this back and forth. Oh, we're gonna get this miles of that. We really didn't know, and we didn't admit it to ourselves until we were 2 days into it. What type of commitment that it would actually take to get to the end. So kind of willy-nilly, kind of like off the cuff, kind of like not thinking through some of the things that might impact it, whether it be weather, whether it be water level. I mean, there's a lot of reasons that you might have problems. Even wind, that can hold back. Let's listen to some.
So we're here on the Allagash, day 2, and we just went like 2 hours in the wrong direction on our longest paddle day. So I guess you can say we're really canoeing now. This is the first time that like we're in the lead. We got the young crew over there that's been paddling hard the whole time. And they were going the wrong way in the beginning, but we said, hey, listen, go to the right, go to the right. And then we kind of second guessed ourselves with the map, I guess, on the third canoe. And we went upriver for about, how many miles, Derek? Like 2.5 miles?
Something like that,
Yeah, it was all fun. And all we wanted to do was eat lunch. But whatever, man. Those are the things that happen when, out in the wilderness and you don't know. When you see the grass going the other way, when you see the stream going the other way. So that's our day.
And that's it, people. That's the Allagash, year 1, making stupid mistakes.